Hey y'all, what's up? Of course. This video just kind of wanted a little more FaceTime with y'all, just because it's good to put a personality to an idea, but at the same time, ideas are universal. Anyway, when you get into my channel, it's like if you start from the beginning, anyone who's been there since '07, like holy shit, good for you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up with my, not intellectually, just like emotionally, all the shit I'm throwing at you. One day I'm saying aliens are real, next day I'm saying aliens are multidimensional, next day I'm saying I'm a reincarnated alien, next day, aliens are here already. So it's just, if you have the courage to keep following me, good for you. Because, as Emerson says, wisdom is really nothing but courage. And Nietzsche says, you should judge a person's character basically by how much truth they can endure. Okay? How much can you really fathom? And even when you just start thinking about space, and you can't fathom that, but at least you're trying. Okay, a lot of people are too scared to try. And when you tell them the moon's hollow, they're like, huh? It only implies that it's artificial. But how can it be artificial if we're the only thing that matters in this universe and nothing came before us? Well, everything, most of the time, facts are going to discredit all current social opinions. Okay, like, it's like my job to have no dated opinions. It's going to be valid today, and it's going to be valid in 100 years. And that's why I don't talk about the news a lot, because it's really fleeting garbage bullshit that just won't matter in a week. I'm trying to talk about stuff that won't matter to you in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years. Okay? I mean, it's obvious. One of the main things, we'll get into a specific topic here, but the whole idea that the Son of God is actually the Son of God, and that's what the ancients thought it was, but there's two issues with that, at least. First issue, English didn't exist back in the day. So the term son wasn't S-U-N, and the term son wasn't S-O-N. Okay? Despite whatever language you say, the English did not exist. So you can't say, well, the pagans called the son because worship Jesus and he rises the third day like December 25th. That has nothing to do with Jesus. That's all paganism. Okay, that's the church trying to get pagans to convert and trying to get the Christians all mixed up and turning pagan. So anyway, in Greek, the word for the son is helios, not son. And the term for son, like a little boy, is huios. Or huis, or something like that. Okay? And in Hebrew, the term for son, little boy, is ben. Bet, none. And the term for son is like shamash or something. So the son doesn't equal the son. This is some modern zeitgeist bullshit. Okay? And I like zeitgeist, just not all the religious stuff. Mostly the 9/11 stuff. Yeah, it's an inside job, if you didn't know. And I've been getting into David Icke a lot, too. Like, I really think, I'm not saying Bush and the Queen Elizabeth are lizards under their skin. I'm just saying they know what's up. Eisenhower had interviews with, like, aliens and stuff. Okay, we already have government agencies doing remote viewing. So they know telepathy is real, so they can telepathically communicate with these multidimensional beings. Alex Jones has talked about it, too. The DMT multidimensional elves have some kind of weird alliance with our evil satanic government, and it's all planned. And that's why we don't know anything about anything, and basically everything they say is a lie. So yeah, I mean, it's all one big extension, and I think one of the easiest ways to know you're living in a lie is physics. I mean, you can just theorize about philosophy and religion and God and the afterlife all day, but in physics, it's 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, 2 + 2, the moon is hollow because they crashed a satellite into it and it echoed for 3 hours. Purposefully, they crashed it to see what happens, and that's what happens, and they didn't care about the results, except for the few people who said, I fear the moon baby hollow. Okay, if it's hollow, that means it's artificial. That means an advanced civilization did it, which means there is something smarter than us out there. Okay, these implications add up, but it's either too scary or it goes against, their job, so they don't want to get fired, or don't want to be ridiculed by their friends or family. I don't care. Good for you. You can use your emotions any way you want to discredit truth. But I hate to sound like America, but facts don't care about your feelings. Okay? I don't vote, but I definitely believe in gun rights and freedom of speech. Apparently that makes me a redneck Nazi. And so what does that tell you too? The fact that you care about self-defense and speaking your mind, all of a sudden that's extremist? Okay, this is part of the end times. It's part of the falling away. I'm not saying Republicans are all right. They're run by the beast just like anyone else. But they use all these separating things to divide and conquer, obviously. But if we want to talk about, once again, physics, 2 + 2 is 4. Genesis 1, take the product of the letters times the value of the letters, or the number of the letters, and divided by the product of the words times the number of the words. You get pi. Do the exact same formula for John 1:1, which is also starting with in the beginning, and it's the New Testament instead of the Old Testament, and you get Euler's number. Even though Euler didn't fucking invent it or discover it first, he's just the first white guy to discover it. Egypt knew Euler's number, 2.718. It's the natural algorithms for law. I don't even know. It's too smart for me. I just know it's there. That's physics. Gematria is science. It's the science of spirituality. It's hard cut, concrete, cut and paste numbers. So when you try and convince skeptics of something, use math. Okay? When you try and convince pagan Christians of something, just use logic. Okay? Well, why does every sun god, why are they all born December 25th? Because Constantine made a political move to make it Christian. I mean, it's not religious at all. It's complete garbage. I think I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion, because I brought out my book the other day just to look at some stuff, because it's easier than pulling it up on my files and scrolling. But yeah, I wrote this in 2011, and it's basically just a couple essays that I had been working on. It's on lulu.com, $5 for the ebook if you want. I think 50. I did as small amount as I could. It's like 15 for the paperback or whatever. But what's in it is my essays: Affection, Left, Right, Wrong, a dialogue, a Wild Nietzsche, which is Oscar Wilde talking to Friedrich Nietzsche, because they have so many similarities. I had to write a dialogue. Nietzsche as Antichrist, of course, showing him as the cure to the Great Disappointment of 1844, and the Quetzalcoatl Return of 1844. And a couple other things. I don't want to spoil the surprise. And NDEs, Swedenborg and DMT, that's an essay. NDE is a near-death experience. These near-death experience people were saying the same thing as Swedenborg was saying about heaven and his spiritual visions, which was saying the same thing as DMT people were saying about in their psychedelic visions. So anyway, that's my little shameless self-promotion. That's kind of the formatting. Take a look. Whatever. I recommend just getting the ebook for $5 and checking it out. It's really just... it's me dipping my toes into being Nietzsche. He's my favorite writer of all time, because, as he says, the number one rule of being a writer is to have something to say. A lot of people want to be writers just because they want their opinions, they want attention. The best writers, just like the best rulers, do not want attention for attention's sake, do not want power for power's sake. They're born to it. It's destiny and all that shit. All that stuff. And if my birth chart didn't say I'd be good at this stuff, then maybe I wouldn't really care. But everything I read says Aquarius is the sign of astrology. Uranus in the 10th house is a good astrologer. Jupiter in Pisces can see a bigger picture. Jupiter in the first house, authority on spiritual topics. I just... It doesn't say I'm shitty at any of the stuff that I've been doing. Okay? And that's why I'm good at it. A time to be born and a time to die. Book of Psalms. Okay? The heavens declare the glory of God. Okay? Meaning space shows the story of Scripture. Psalm 19. Anyway, so it's really hard to combine logic and faith in such a secularized society that says anything logical can't be biblical. You don't believe in dinosaurs or evolution, or think everything was made in 7 days. That's not the case. That's not the case. Just because the Bible doesn't literally say MacBooks don't exist doesn't mean MacBooks weren't invented later on. The dinosaurs, fucking Anunnaki reptilians, is probably just one of their messed up experiments, and then they had us. Or there was some crazy ozone layer thing, and the Earth was closer to the sun back then. But then when some crazy stuff happened, like Velikovsky's books show, Worlds in Collision, Earth moved back a little bit, so the gravity changed, oxygen changed, and that's why everything shrunk. Dinosaurs were huge because there's more oxygen, the atmosphere is crazy. But now, a little less oxygen, a little smaller people, bigger brains. Okay. Question is, at what point is it like a Nibiru binary star planet coming to ruin shit every couple thousand years? Or was it an accident? At this point, if you've seen more than 5 of my videos that aren't just mixtapes, you know life's not an accident. That's my main purpose here, y'all, is to show you life means something, and here's my evidence. No one's seen that so far yet. Guess I better post a video. No one's written that yet. I guess I better write an essay. Okay, like I'm trying to do something more than YouTube, and I'm trying to find out a way to make another one of these from all my new information that I've gotten 12 years since I wrote this. Okay, I wasn't a Christian or anything yet, but I knew about the Book of Mark hiding the Zodiac, and I was like, oh, cool, the Bible hides astrology. I like astrology. What is the Bible? You know, you're just slowly creeping towards truth. And since there's so much to do, I'm glad there's people like, David Wilcock, or websites like Gaia.com, or just, these polymaths is what I kind of consider myself these days. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a polymath, which is kind of a renaissance man where you can do music, you're into science and math and theology and whatever. My YouTube channel speaks to that. I think I'm okay at some of this stuff. I wasn't really taught formally most of this stuff. But then again, why would I want to pay for something I can just read after I Google it? Okay. Did I mention the Year of the Rabbit's the most scholarly animal? Okay, I'm done. Okay, last thing. We know Jesus talked about the age of Aquarius. His disciples said, hey, what are we going to do? Jesus said, well, go see the man bearing a pitcher of water and follow him. Okay, well, back in the year 33 AD, men did not carry water. Only women did that historically, not men. So it's a clear indication that it wasn't a literal event that specifically. It was an archetypal placement in the Bible to remind us the age of Aquarius is coming, and that's when he's coming back. Or at least that's when we're leaving. And by the way, rapture means, it's not, rapture is not the right word. Escape is the word. Jesus said, Luke 21:36, pray ye that ye escape everything that's coming. Rapture kind of means like taken and raped and stuff. It's not a rapture. It's an escape from the Stone of Daniel 2 or the Revelation 9 star, whatever you want to call it. It's going to hit San Onofre power plants at the 33-degree parallel that I showed corresponds to Karl Marx the code because it's 720 times pi. It's all the same shit. They're using the same system as the Atlantean days. We just don't have the same pineal glands as the Atlantean days. Jesus said, when thine eye is single, that's when you can, see. He's not talking about being cross-eyed. He's talking about the third eye, which is what literally every other culture mentions. The pine cones everywhere. The Roman Catholic Vatican even has it on their thing. They know about it. It's just the pineal gland is the seat of the soul, and that's why fluoride's evil. And we outlawed all psychedelics, so you can't activate it. Okay? Well, anyway, Jesus said, follow the man bearing a pitcher of water. And that's the Aquarius age. So us Aquarians are going to help y'all out. Know what I'm saying? What's cool is that's verse Luke 22:10. Oh, did you hear that? Yeah, 2:10. Yeah, me. Whoop-de-doo. I'm not saying I'm this guy. I'm just saying I'm tied to it again. And here's the second time it was mentioned in Mark 14:13. Same Same verse, different gospel. It says, go see the man bearing a pitcher of water. That's Mark 14:13. Well, guess what I noticed that no one else did yet? I'm sure someone said it, just no one told me, and I've seen thousands of videos and whatever. It's pi backwards. That's it. Mark 13:14. 3141. It's pi backwards, and it's talking about the age of Aquarius, when people like me would discover pi in Genesis 1:1 and try and tell people and only get a couple hundred fucking hits on YouTube. Anyway, I still said it. It's like Nietzsche said God is dead in Die Fröhliche Wissenschaft in 1882. People didn't understand it or give a shit about it till a couple of years later. So the fact I say something now, who cares? But I said it. I said Tupac and Machiavelli have the same birth chart. I said Swedenborg's description of heaven and the corresponding auras are exactly like Journey of Souls. The more purple your aura is, according to Swedenborg's law of the angels' colors or whatever, purple is the wisest. Just like these people doing past life regression hypnosis and are seeing the afterlife, in between their lives. Okay? I mean, it just goes on and on. Okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Nietzsche is, the great disappointment cure. Only I have said this stuff. Who else is saying this stuff? No one. No one cares because they don't care about Nietzsche, so why would they look at prophecies? It's just all separated. Nietzscheans hate astrologers, hate Christians, hate Nietzscheans, you're all fucking just... you're wasting your time hating each other. You need to calm down, get rid of your prejudices, zoom out, and know that God expects more from you than to go to a church on Sundays. That's not what God wants from you. At all. He wants you studying every single day. Okay? Whether it be crop circles or water crystals. Finding out what is reality is our job. And Christians say, well, if it's not mentioned in the Bible, it doesn't matter. How do you know it's not mentioned in the Bible? You don't even know how to read symbolically. You're reading cut and paste literally like it's some fucking Jane Austen novel. This is spiritual stuff written in the Middle East thousands of years ago. And your stupid redneck ass wants to think you can fathom these deep mysteries of the esoteric hermeticism, occult sciences they're hiding in it. It says Moses was learned in all of the ways of ancient Egypt. Moses knew the wisdom of Egypt. He knew the pyramid was part of the code. He knew pi. Just because the Bible says he didn't know it doesn't mean he didn't. But it did say he knows it because he knows all the wisdom of ancient Egypt. He was a pharaoh, misled by the Yahweh beast, but that's another story. Okay, I'm done. Ciao.